So finding another shop that's close to him is a benefit to all parties.
You mentioned, obviously at this point, the broker has probably had a discussion, you've already had a discussion with the owner of who's going to cover what costs. Now, does that include, and should you be talking about who's going to pay to fly the plane out there, or who's going to be responsible if we think there might be this problem or that? Like, where does that fall into the deal?
One of the topics I believe we're going to discuss later is the actual purchase and sale agreement. And so these are components that are involved in the letter of intent that's drafted, or the purchase and sale agreement, of which party is going to be responsible for the cost of repositioning the aircraft, whose crew will be flying the aircraft. When the aircraft goes in for an inspection, it's customary for the buyer to pay the cost for that inspection. Usually they'll pay the flat rate labor to the maintenance provider. Often what gets negotiated is any unairworthy discrepancies discovered during that inspection often fall on the seller's expense.
Okay.
Where the gray area is when you get items that are questionable. Brakes and tires are often a big thing, where are they beyond limits or are they just close to the limit? And so we're going to rely heavily on the repair station to make those determinations, because that's obviously going to determine who pays any cost to remedy that.
You know, I often joke the fighter pilot standard answer is, it depends. And so I imagine, again, this applies when it comes to it. But do you have any advice when it comes to negotiating or managing expectations in the process, when it's like, hey, you're going to pay for this or that, et cetera?
You just said my favorite word of aircraft sales. Everything that I try to do as a broker, and I think most of my broker colleagues would also believe in, is managing expectations. Because if we don't manage our clients' expectations, and the expectations of the maintenance shop, and the expectations of the seller, then we run the risk of having a disappointed party. And you don't want to be the party that's disappointed.
Yeah, and when you're talking about, you know, such big purchases, and again, it doesn't matter if it's a single engine prop to, you know, again, a business jet that can fly across the ocean, these are still big purchases.